I had a limited amount of time to play her because unfortunately right on the 27th when I was on a trip, so I was out. Even though I had my damn Steam Deck, I just did not have a chance to sit down and crank out some matches. But that did not stop me from watching other people play and kind of kind of get a at least an understanding as to what I'm seeing with her. So shout outs to MJ. MJ is we've had him on here before, an incredible Vega player from 5. And he's an insane Kim player now, but Aki was kind of in his sights very, very early on. So he got to pick her up. So I was asking him about her. I don't know if you guys have had a chance. Have either of you had a chance to sit down and play her at all?
I tried her trials. Okay. Little too complex for me.
Ooh, okay. That's what I'm hearing. I'm hearing. So you're not the first person to say it. There is like a lot of technical skill there. And it might be one of those characters where the amount of work, we've talked about this before, characters that need a lot of work to make viable is not necessarily a bad thing, but it's like, it really gauges you as a player, right? Like how much work are you willing to put in? Unless you are really vibing with the character, you're not trying to really do a whole lot of, let's be real. You don't want to have to try to work too hard to get that same 20, 30%, whatever that other characters are just like, here you go. Can just dish out, no prob, right?
I mean, when Ken exists in this game, then yeah, it's kind of hard to want to do that. I mean, I haven't played her. I know I was kind of thrilled about it, but I've been so damn busy with so many other things that I'm just like, I've been watching what people have been doing a lot, and I'm just like, I don't know if I care for this character. It's not what I was hoping for, but it's a little bit, but not as much. So, I mean, I'm going to give her a try still, but I was hoping she was going to be more Vega and less Fang. But maybe that was my misjudgment from the start. So, but she looks good. She looks good. I feel like people just don't know what the hell to do with her. And I think that's fair. She has a ton of tools.
Yeah.
And weird ranges. So
it's less than week 1. I did watch, I was watching, what is it? I think I was watching some clips as well from like Katsunoko playing her, like a bunch of Japanese players that were trying to play her, just random matches and all that. And I'm seeing like differences in what people are trying to actually obviously play, like how they're approaching her. And she's got, there is some dirt there. There is some dirt for sure. And it's just like I said, she's a high commitment character, which is why she's like right up the alley for certain players out there, right? Like Mono, right? Like ironically, Mono, putting himself in that situation. The Fang players from Street Fighter 5 are going to feel right at home in terms of like the dedication they're going to have to put to make this character work. But at least this character is going to be decent. Fang, I think, was just a goddamn tragedy for the entire lifetime of Street Fighter 5.
Well, no. Later on, he got better. But
he
also took some nerfs at the same time.
Yeah, exactly. But she I think she just has strength in areas that he clearly was lacking. For one, the projectile game. Very early on when we even saw the actual starter guide for the character, the fact that she gets a projectile that interacts with other projectiles is already a plus. It's already like, wow, you're already way better because your master just could not hang. The poison being definitely more of a like I said, more of a stain state from your testament, kind of feel for my Guilty Gear players out there. You know what I'm talking about. It's about like, getting the stain on or getting the poison on and then actually detonating it to allow for combo extensions and all, more than anything else. Like, sure, you are getting some DPS in it, which is good, but the real goal is to get a hit and actually blow it up. But she's got some really interesting buttons. Her jab is funny because she's got the crouching jab. She's got the double, right? You can easily confirm that. It's a very simple confirm into her DP into her level 3. Her air buttons, that very strange. But I don't even know which button that is. I don't know if you know, Static, off the rip. From the one where she's jumping. There's two. The one where she's jumping where it's like her feet are in front of her, where she's just like a pretzel, and then. That's heavy kick. And then there's one where she's basically in the same pose, but she's putting out her hands instead. I don't know if that's like medium punch or even possibly heavy punch, but that has dumb cross up, like,
it doesn't even hit in front. It's a cross up.
It does. It is just straight up a cross up. It is so weird because it also, the way she contorts her body, I'm assuming her hitbox is also fucking really, or her box is really weird. So you might be seeing some tech where, you know, on safe jumps or whatever, even with this button being put out there, even if you're trying to reversal DP her, there might be just some weird interactions there, which is, you know, makes sense because the character is supposed to make you feel like that, right? The character is not supposed to make you feel easy. She has a very unorthodox feel for her. Her movement is just not normal. So it's supposed to kind of bring that entire presentation to it. But her damage, I think, is solid. Like, it just takes a little bit of setup, which not everyone seems to be about. And I mean, I can understand that, right? Like, why do I have to do these extra, you know, if I want to get to step 3, why do I have to go to step 1, 1.1, 1.2, 1.3, 2, 2.1, 2. Before I get to 3, versus some characters are like step 3, 1, 2, 3, and some motherfuckers are like 1, 3. Like, that's it. Like, their game plan does not need to be any more complicated.
It reminds me of like everything the opposite of, it's like Hakan, where like you had to do all of this stuff to get in, and then finally get the oil up, and then you can play the game somewhat.
And he had a similar kind of trajectory when it came to the buffs, right? It wasn't until really the end of the final version where he was really, once they gave him the, like, you know, start with oil, right, level 1 oil every match, and then his recovery on oil became so quick where he could, you know, there were more strings or knockdowns where he could just refresh it. Yeah, and FADC, like doing the weird FADC like dash, you know, that
was there for
cancel. Yeah, but it like got even more potent because he was more oiled up. It became more of a factor, right? Like, I'm wondering if she's gonna be on that path. I think, right? I mean, we're barely even a week out, but she's got some cheap stuff like that far-reaching string that she does, or special move is pretty potent because she can keep up when it comes to the projectiles. Like, you know, we're seeing MJ here, you know, just being able to clash no problem with the Ryu. Sure, granted, we're in Diamond, whatever, rank doesn't really matter. It's all about how the character does feel. But, you know, she's able to keep up with that. I don't know how she does against Guile, but that's the point of this, you know, the weak of the character, right? Like, is the sliding gonna be worth it, right? Are you gonna be able to command grab off of it? Or, you know, there are some moves that are projectile invo. Like, can she really outzone people? He's saying she does well against, like, Jury. He says, like, he's not having a problem with Jury, which is like, oh, that's cool, right? That's a really high tier character to kind of have a nice little pocket character in. She might just be that. She might just be a pocket character to some for certain matchups, depending on how she develops. But I think for being a unique new character, I think her kit is solid. I'm trying to see, like, you know, outside of reversal, right? Like, which you have to gamble on anyway. But if you want to reversal, say out the corner, you have the slithering, right? The EX slithering thing, which the only thing you can hit her with is a grab. This game being very grab prone at certain levels, I could see her having a detriment from that. But besides that, I think she's solid. I think once we develop her more, you know, she has her safe jumps, she has her setups, she has her, I don't know, 50-50s. Like, am I going to go for command grab, or if I feint it, you know, is this a guaranteed feint to punish, to bait? You know, once we have those kind of components out there in the wild, I think we'll see her kind of go up a little bit. She might just be having the Kim effect, where it's a lot.
Yeah. She definitely does seem like a really complex character. I mean, it reminds me of like Rolento. We knew Rolento was easy in the beginning because obviously he had really good buttons, and his game plan was kind of straightforward. But then as like the game progressed, he got a lot more difficult. Most people didn't want to play him anymore, and if they did, it was like specialist. El Forte was another character that also had like specialties. Like, you had to really put time into the character. So I definitely think that we're seeing that too. Like, we're seeing this very like, how do we figure out the character? And it's gonna probably take one person to be like, aha, this is it, right? And then she'll just be played like that. Or maybe she'll be the most flexible character in the game, where you can just play her however you want.
Yeah, we're just gonna have to wait and see. I've yet to get tired of her level 3. It's still one of the more cinematic ones. I love the look of it. It's really her style. But the character right now, like I said, it's less than a week out. I think there's definitely some more development on it. I actually do want to sit down and talk to Mono about it after a little bit more time. Considering also First Attack is happening later this month. I know the brother's probably super swamped as is. Regardless, though, keeping an eye out because there's some tech videos I want to sit down and actually just do a good run with her, get some sets on. Maybe we'll get some sets in here, guys, real soon. But Aki looks fun. Like regardless, she just looks fun. And maybe I'm just saying it. I'm biased. I for those that know me and my ways when it comes to fighting games, I love me run stance stance or just standard stance characters. It's just my thing. She fits that bill. Which I didn't think about. So she might be right up my alley. So I definitely want to sit down and grind out a little bit and see how she stands against some of these characters. But as of right now, like I said, she looks fun.
Yeah, my curiosity stems from the stances, from the snake little crawl, and also her quarter circle forward thing. Like one is a fake, one is a medium, and then one is heavy far, and then you can push forward fierce. So
yep.
I don't know. I just find that I find that all cool because I also like command grab.
Yeah, I like options.
I don't like command grabs on like Zangief type brawler or grapplers.
Like you don't like command grabs where that is all they got to bring.
Like the whole package.
Yeah, you want the whole shebang-a-bang.
He seems to have some parts of the package, but not. All
I gotta say is command grab and projectile. I mean, come on. Command grab and projectile. Semi-invo, basically invo reversal to get out that has movement. Good, decent air to airs. DP-ish, right? Is there DP? Actually, her string, is that the quarter circle? Is that quarter circle like heavy to actually point straight up?
Yes, quarter circle forward heavy. Yeah.
Okay, that's not bad. That's not even the DP, so it's even easier.
Profile.
It's low profile, exactly. And you can confirm it into level 3. Yeah, she's on paper. Once again, on paper. I don't know how many times you met somebody and you're like, yeah, this looks good on paper. Then you actually meet them. then you're like,
said on paper.
I said on paper. Yes, in theory.